If you're here after the first part of my story, you already know this ain't just some ride in the desert. And if you're new, stay with me until the end of this road. You'll see why going back home can be the hardest thing a man like me can do. My name is Cole Walker, and this is The Road Back. There's a strange kind of quiet when you leave a place you once thought you'd die in. Every hoofbeat feels louder. Every mile feels heavier. I spent years building that silence around me, and in one morning, I tore it all down with a single choice. Out here, the road doesn't talk back, it just stretches on. Mile after mile of dust, rock, and sky. Most men hate this kind of silence. Me, I used it like a bandage. If you ride long enough, you can almost convince yourself you're not running from anything. Almost. Home wasn't always a letter soaked in bad news. Once, it was fresh-cut hay, my father's voice at sunrise, and my brother's boots pounding across the porch. We worked that land until our backs screamed, but at the end of the day, we'd sit on that old fence, watch the sun burn out over the fields, and believe we'd die there someday. Funny thing about always, it never lasts as long as you think. There was a time I thought I had life figured out, a ring I never gave, a life I never lived. She once told me, "Cole, you don't always have to ride away from the things that scare you." I laughed it off back then. Men like me do that when we don't want to listen. Now every mile I ride back feels like an answer I owe her and a debt I owe myself. Guilt's a funny thing. It doesn't shout. It doesn't break down your door. It just sits with you, quiet, patient, waiting for long rides and empty skies to remind you of everything you did and everything you didn't. I left my brother with a mess I helped create, then spent years pretending distance was the same as forgiveness. It ain't. The closer I got, the more the land started talking. Fences leaning over, fields left to die, wagon tracks heading out heavier than they ever came in. This wasn't just bad luck, this was pressure, the kind that doesn't stop until it takes everything you've got, or everything you are. And then, there it was, that town, those roofs, that same old church steeple pointing at the sky like a finger aimed at God. From up here, it almost looked like the place I remembered, but I knew better. Towns change, people change, debt and fear. They change fastest of all. If you stay with me for the next part of this story, you'll see what was waiting for me down there.